So I recently joined a Minecraft building competition, which is something I didn't even know existed until about a month ago. For some context, I stumbled upon a YouTube video by someone named Meg Ray showcasing some crazy builds from a past contest, and at the time I didn't think much of it until a few days later when I got recommended another video by her, and that's when it clicked in my head that I could literally just join one of these things for free and possibly even win some big money. Like, I'm talking 1,000 clams if I'm lucky and get first place. So I patiently waited for the next contest to start, and they actually announced the theme like 2 weeks before, which gave me enough time to think of an idea, find 100+ reference images on Pinterest, watch a 2-hour movie I'm using for more reference, hop in a creative world to plan out not only a landscape that took like a full day, but also a house that I found on Pinterest, and several custom trees because I'm still learning how to build those. Now that you're basically caught up to speed, it was finally time to start the contest. I was actually the first person to show up to this thing. I felt like the weird kid in middle school that would show up to school 20 minutes early and wait for the teacher to unlock the door. But finally I was able to claim my plot, which was directly next to spawn, and I instantly got to work recreating my entire terrain design, then adding this cool sand gradient for the beach. During that part, I found out that people could actually TP to me to check out my build, and that ended up being one of my favorite things about the whole server, because the people there were actually super chill and nice. So I was talking to them in chat quite a bit throughout the contest and checking out everyone else's progress. Like, I'm pretty sure every time you see a flash during a time lapse, that's literally just me taking breaks from building to see what everyone else is up to. Anyways, after finishing up that cliff on the beach, I made this kind of boulder thing to break up the smooth terrain. I got bored once again and started exploring all the nearby plots when I discovered possibly the coolest thing I have ever seen in Minecraft, and I realized that this dude right here, whose name is Zekis by the way, was about to become my biggest competition ever, because not only is he making an actual painting in Minecraft, but he is literally 2 plots away from me, so every time I want to feel bad about my build, I can just fly over there and see his plot and instantly get motivated within like 4 seconds. So the next thing I did was rebuild my house from my creative world, as well as texturing the roof and walls afterwards. Wait a minute, dude, you haven't actually explained what it is you're building and what's going on. So basically what I'm doing is I'm recreating a landscape from a movie called When Marnie Was There. It's a really beautiful movie made by Studio Ghibli, so if you haven't watched it, I highly recommend. But yeah, the reason I'm building this landscape is because the theme of the building contest is nostalgia, and when I think of nostalgia, I think of stuff like this. It doesn't really have a deeper meaning than that. I just kind of liked the movie a lot and wanted to build it. Alright, after that exhausting 2-hour session of sitting in a chair and looking at a screen, I flew over to Zeki's plot to get motivated again, and yeah, that definitely did the trick. I started working on my first custom tree when someone new stopped by to say hello and said my house looks nice, so that boosted my confidence just a little bit. Anyways, back to work, no more distractions. I'm finishing this tree. Oh my god, this build is insane. How is this even possible? So I finished building all the tree assets I'm going to use in the landscape, and Zeki's actually showed me a feature with the Axiom mod that makes it so I can basically change the state of blocks really easily, making the tree designs way better. Next, I made a road going up to the house, as well as making some fences and a parking lot with a car in it. Then, to get a better idea on the direction I was going with the general build, I began laying out some outlines for houses I was going to make in the future. Meanwhile, Zeki's was still going crazy with his build, and I was glazing as usual because I got nothing better to do. When I got back to my plot, I actually made some solid progress by pasting a bunch of my custom trees down to start my forest, since I'm trying to recreate a forest similar to the one in the movie. After that, I decided to check out some other people's builds. This one was going for like a comically goofy Mario style with Nintendo characters, and this one was an old man looking down at something, which is really cool. Then also there was this city that was coming along nicely. I started to work on the interior of the house, which I actually planned out most of the first floor in my creative world, so it really wasn't that hard to recreate it, and it's also kind of hard to time-lapse it to show it. But here's me finding Zeki snooping around the living room that I just finished. Next, I made this little garden that was really inspired by the movie once again. And then I continued making the front yard, going for like an overgrown kind of look, trying to make it look like no one has mowed the lawn for a really long time. After that, I was working on the second floor when someone asked to see my progress, and that caused a bunch of other people in chat to TP to me, wanting to see it as well. And I'm pretty sure there was like 7 people in total there all at once, which was pretty funny. It was like I was hosting a party or something. So anyways, back to the grind. I finished pretty much the entire interior by day 4 of the contest, which initially there was only 7 days in the whole thing. So I was starting to freak out a little bit and build faster because I still had a lot of stuff I wanted to do in my plot. But here's a little tour of the interior since I haven't really showed it too well yet. So you walk through the front door with an office on the left, then we got the kitchen and the bathroom over here. Then through this hallway is the living room area and a few storage rooms and a guest bedroom and stuff like that. Going up the stairs, we have a nice little kids room with a bunch of plushies on the ground and stuff. Another office, a seating area next to the upstairs bathroom that actually turned out pretty well. I really like the bathroom. Then the master bedroom where the homeowners sleep or whatever. And finally, you go up to the top floor, which I decided to make into an attic. And I just filled that thing to the brim with boxes and containers and whatnot to make it feel like these guys own a ton of random stuff. During that time, Zeki's was still blowing my mind with his build and made me realize I actually gotta lock in, bro. So I grinded out 3 different buildings. The first one being like a restaurant and a house at the same time. The second one is a nice green post office. And the last one is another small house. Then I had Zeki's come over and check it out and he approved, so I kept on grinding, making this blue house with a tree on the side and also this rundown pink and yellow apartment with a motorcycle on the side. After that, I made this tiny shed or house or something. I don't even know what it actually is. And finally, this nice little bus stop to finish off all the buildings. At that point, I was under the impression that the contest was ending in a couple of days, but I found out that they actually extended the time by 2 extra days because a bunch of people kept asking them for more time. But I got back to work making these power lines that really brought the whole town together and made it feel like people actually live there. Then I added this little grassy spot with a dock and a boat that I've been wanting to build from the movie. I also made these fish thingies that blow in the wind from Pinterest. And next up was this river I made out of glass because for some reason the server doesn't let you place running water, probably because of lag, I'm assuming. After all that building, I decided to take another short break and check out some other people's builds on the server, which were so good that they motivated me to keep going and finish this little corner of my build that I've been putting off for a while now. I decided to add this little frog shrine and it turned out way better than I thought. Then the next day in real life, I finished all of the interiors for the town buildings since that was another big detail I've been putting off for a while. This is really random, but every time the server restarted, I would just spam the spyglass in people's faces and they can hear the audio of me scoping in, so I thought that was really funny for no reason. But anyways, I got back to the grind and I built this cool little truck carrying hay bales for some extra detail, as well as this nice red and white gazebo for the family to sit in. Then I started to add the finishing touches by placing a bunch of short grass and other plants all over the forest, and then afterwards finally placing in all of the grass and flowers on the hill, which is something I've been waiting to do for literally the entire contest. And since there was less than an hour left in the contest, I decided to add one final little plane in the sky because why not? So after visiting a few people's finished builds, the contest was over and everyone was celebrating in chat. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I ended up getting 17th place, which I was shooting for top 20, so I will take that. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe because it really helps me grow this channel, and I might just join another contest. Okay, love you, bye.